Venus, let's ask you about your lessons learned. You've been through a lot of activities over there, a bunch of activities that I think very large departments and agencies would dream of being able to do with their stock consolidations, et cetera, et cetera. I'm sure you've got some really fantastic lessons learned. You'd like to impart some wisdom on this community.
Well, thank you. I actually do like this question because the thing about lessons learned is that means that you are, in order to learn, you need to document what you're doing, right? And always take a look back when you're completed an activity. And so, as Wanda said, collaboration is key. That public-private partnership and working with the industry partners is key. And we saw that here in COVID in our current environment. With all of the industry partners that are within USDA, having that meeting to say, okay, here's where we are. What's my investment? Am I maximizing my investment? How can I use my investment in this current posture? So that was one of the key things we learned, was collaborating with our industry partners. And I had already, I'm happy to say that that's something that I did when I arrived here at USDA, was meeting with the industry partners just to make sure that I didn't have just tools for tools' sake, but that I had the right tools for the capabilities I need to secure USDA. The other lesson learned, and Chris, you touched on it, was we have to teach and remind our system owners and business owners to bake cybersecurity in, because it's definitely more expensive to bolt it on when you're done. And when they're planning for modernization efforts, to include cybersecurity as well. A secure SDLC or CICD, a DevSecOps, those aren't just buzzwords. Those should be the way that we do business. So I think having to teach sometimes and remind and work with our business owners, that's key. And I can't say enough about governance. What I learned was governance is key. And in that, I don't mean just people sitting around the table, and saying we had a governance meeting, but I mean a real decision-making body whereby you can tie your investments to that governance body, your requirements to that governance body. And if ever asked the question, you actually have an opportunity and a way that you can go back and say, we did this and made this decision because of this. And that's what governance will allow you to do, and having the right people at the table. And then, of course, codifying the work that you're doing is very important. When we started the SecOps consolidation, I codified it in the cybersecurity framework. I codified, my workforce with the NICE framework, because that ensured that it's not personality driven, because when the day and time come that I leave USDA, I like to know that the work will continue because it is rooted and grounded in a policy and a standard. And it wasn't just, I'm going to say a Venusism, so to speak. And so those are the lessons that I think I've learned. And I would share, with my industry counterparts and my federal counterparts here, is really, baking it in, maintaining governance, and make sure that you codify, and you cannot collaborate enough.